Hello, everyone. This is Phong Cao with Remax Advantage Plus. I'm here with Erin Kline. She's a
Hi.
mortgage consultant with Elarus. Hi, Erin.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm great. I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about today.
Me too. This is a hot topic, and let's talk about down payment assistance. And I know there's a couple out there that people are kind of confused about. So, um, what's the definition of a first generation home buyer?
Yeah, so this is the new exciting stuff in Minnesota is that the legislature appropriated funds to help first generation home buyers purchase a home. And what it's defined as is that you have never owned a home and your parents have never owned a home in any country, or that you owned a home but lost it to foreclosure and have not purchased a home since then.
Okay. And is there like any special funding that the buyers can qualify for?
Yeah, so what I thought we'd talk about today is the Community First Generation Fund. So there are two programs out there. One is the Minnesota Housing First Generation Funds. That's a little different than what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
This is the Community First Generation money. And so what's really cool about this money is it can be used with any regular first mortgage. So they can use a market rate first mortgage. It'll give them a grant of up to 10% of the price with a maximum of 32,000. So if the home price is higher than 320, they'll cap out at that $32,000 maximum. And what's really special about the community program, so let's say they get $32,000, this becomes a second mortgage on the house, has zero interest, has zero payment. And each year that they live there for a full year as their primary residence, 20% of the debt for that grant is forgiven. So after 1 year, 20%, after 2 years, 40%, 60%, 80%. And once they have lived there as their primary residence for 5 full years, 100% of that grant money has been forgiven.
So this money, it it just lowers the mortgage amount,
Right? Because a lot of
and they
buyers
don't have to pay
don't
it.
have $32,000 for a down payment. So maybe they're buying a house with a much smaller down payment, which can be done. But moving the needle on how much down payment they can make not only makes them a better buyer in the seller's eyes, but also reduces how much money they're going to have to pay as a mortgage payment each month.
Hmm, that sounds like a really good program.
It's a
Um,
really cool program. I don't know of any other states that have this.
okay. So what if there's more than one buyer, more than one person applying for the loan? They both need to be a first generation home buyer?
That's a good question. No, they don't. They both have to be first time homebuyers, meaning that they have never
Hmm.
owned a home in the past 3 years. But if there's more than one person on the loan, only one of them has to be a first generation homebuyer. So theoretically, you could have two people buying a home together. One person came from a family where their family had owned a home. One person came from a family where their family had not owned a home, and they're still able to use the first generation.
Hmm. Okay, I didn't know that. And then what are the most important requirements, if you could elaborate, high level
Yeah, and
requirements?
they have to be able to be approved for a mortgage. So depending on the kind of mortgage they're applying for, there's going to be different qualification requirements, credit scores, and those are specific to the first mortgage. But the most important requirements to be able to get the first generation down payment assistance in the
Mhm.
11 county metro area here in Minnesota, their income has to be below 124,200, so $124,200 for all people who are on the loan. Um, Really big deal. They have to complete a required homebuyer education course. So there's a lot of homebuyer education courses out there. This program has specific ones that they accept. The client has to take and complete that homebuyer education before they can go out and make an offer on a home. And it has to be done within 12 months of the home purchase. And they also have to be approved by the lender for the first mortgage. So the lender has to review and approve them using this program in order for them to be able to apply for the funds for down payment assistance.
Okay. Um, I was gonna ask you something, but I don't know, I forgot. Any So what's the maximum price that they could buy?
The maximum price, well, the maximum down payment assistance is 10% of the purchase price, but no more than $32,000. So if they choose a home that's over $320,000,
Yes.
they're not
Mhm.
going to be able to get more than 10%, no more than
Yeah,
32.
they can say they buy a home for 400K, so they
Right.
can only get 32.
You got it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the max they can have.
Yep.
Well, this is great information, Erin. How do people get a hold of you if they want to know more about this?
They can reach me by going to my website, which is erinklinemortgage.com, or they can just call and text me, which is usually easiest for people. And that number is 612-202-1459. And I'm going to ask you the same thing, because when people are thinking about getting approved for a program like this, they need a real estate agent to help them. And you are uniquely positioned to be able to help first generation home buyers. How do they get a hold of you?
The best way is just to call or text me, and my cell phone is 952-994-6988.
Awesome. Thank you for taking time to talk about this, and so we can get the word out so people know that this is
Well,
available.
thank you.